Hello everybody, welcome to Dude with a Fork. My name is Ken. On today's episode of Ken Cooks Stuff, I am making some Pinto Bean Skillet Chili. This is a recipe that I got out of the 365 Great 20-Minute Recipes cookbook. It's supposed to serve 2 to 3. It's delicious, but I want to make it serve 3 to 4 people at least, so I am changing a few things in the recipe. I'll show you those first, show you the ingredients I have, and then we'll head over to the kitchen and get cooking. See you in a minute. All right, so here I have basically the ingredients that are called for in this recipe. Vegetable oil, a medium onion chopped, which is here, and a small green bell pepper chopped, which is here. So we're good on that. A tablespoon of chili powder, a 15-ounce can of Mexican-style stewed tomatoes, which are these guys, otherwise known as fake Rotel. That's basically what she's asking for. A 15-ounce can of pinto beans drained, and this is the Meyer brand pinto beans. These are reduced sodium. We are not draining these. We do not drain canned beans, unless they're black beans, and we don't want the color. And then she's using 1.5 cups of grated Monterey Jack cheese. This requires broiling, which means you have to heat up the top part of your oven, and then put something under it, and I don't do that. So she's using a medium 8-ounce skillet with oven-proof handles. She's heating the oil, adding the onion and bell pepper, cooking until softened and lightly brown. Then she adds chili powder and cooks that a little bit, which, again, you want your spices to cook in the oil to get that flavor out. Then she's adding the stewed tomatoes, the beans, and a half cup of water. And I find that ironic that you're draining the beans and adding half a cup of water in. Bring to a boil over high heat, reduced heat to medium, and cook until chili has thickened to a stew-like consistency, about 8 minutes. And then sprinkle the cheese, 1.5 cups, which seems like a ton of cheese. Sprinkle the cheese evenly over the top of the chili, place under the broiler about 4 inches from the heat, and cook for 30 seconds to 1 minute to melt cheese. And I'm almost going to do all of that stuff. But I did make up a list of things that I'm going to change. Oil, medium green onion, small green bell pepper, 1 tablespoon chili powder. Yep, I'm going to use those. But I'm also going to add a half teaspoon of cumin and a half teaspoon of granulated garlic. The can of tomatoes with chilies, the 15-ounce can of pinto beans. Yep, but I'm not draining these pinto beans. Half cup of water is great. 1.5 cups of grated cheese. Might reduce that to half a cup. I'm not going to broil to melt the cheese. What I'm going to do instead is try to make this into a bowl. I want this a little bit saucy, so I did get some instant brown rice, which is not super instant, I found out, because it takes, where are the directions? Here it is. It takes about 10 minutes to cook this. So not super instant, but definitely less time than regular brown rice. And then I have this beautiful tomato that I'm going to chop up and garnish it with, and also some green onions, the green and the white part, and also some cilantro. And I went to Aldi, and their cilantro's not looking real excited. So yeah, but we definitely need some green and white in there as well, because everything's basically going to be red. So I'm going to head over to the stove. I'm going to make some rice and chop up a bunch of stuff, and then we'll get cooking. So I'll see you over at the stove. All right, so we're at the stove. I have a stainless steel pan that I'm using, and of course the way to make sure that things don't stick on a stainless steel pan is to give it plenty of time to heat up over medium heat. You never really want to take a stainless steel pan above medium. So I'm going to check. Okay, see how that just kind of, and that's it? That pan is not hot enough. So I'm going to give that a couple more minutes. Okay, that was a test. I'll zoom you in and do it again. What you want to see is when you sprinkle some cold water in there with your fingers, you can see how it's bouncing around. This pan now has been sufficiently heated that food will not stick in it. So, of course, the other thing you have to do to guarantee that food doesn't stick is to put your oil in and let your oil get plenty hot. Okay, so, yeah, it's hitting some of those water droplets that were left. I'm going to kick this down. I had it on medium, which I'm on my induction burner here. So I'm going to kick this down from about medium to somewhere between medium and medium low. And we're going to get in there with that onion. And if you need to know exact amounts, if you're that kind of person, like I am, see, look at that. That onion's not sticking. It's just moving around. That's just perfect. So, in fact, I can turn that down a little bit more. If you're wondering exact amounts, I have these little cups I bought from Target ages ago, and these actually hold exactly half a cup. So that's half a cup of onion, exactly. It was about half of that onion that I showed you. If you like more onion, you can definitely do more onion. You know, adjust the vegetables in something in a dish is something that you can adjust to your own taste. If you like lots of vegetables, put lots of vegetables in. If you don't like vegetables that much, put fewer in. I'm thinking if I were making this during the summer, I might be very tempted to throw a zucchini in there. Just because. So, anyway, that's looking good. We just want this to get soft a little bit. And the cookbook says lightly browned. Yeah, that's going to take a minute or two. So we'll come back in a bit and see where we are. Okay, I'm thinking that looks good on the lightly browned bit. So we're going to go in with half a cup of the bell pepper. Come on out, all of you. Everybody onto the playground. There we go. And we're just going to saute these for a little bit. And again, notice we got that pan sufficiently hot. We got the oil sufficiently hot. Nothing is sticking. They are trying to get out of the pan though. So we'll come back in a little bit when this is when these bell peppers have softened up a little bit. All right, these are looking nice. So I'm going to go in with our spices. And again, don't want to leave those in there too long because you can burn them pretty easily. I just want to get them coated in this oil so that those flavors have a chance to bloom. I'm going to go in with our tomatoes. Yeah, there we go. That's looking good. All right. Now, in the recipe, she adds the tomatoes and the beans at the same time. I think I'm going to let these come to a little bit of a simmer here. Just give things a chance to cook down a bit. I'm going to rinse out that can with a half cup of water. So, and then I will use that to rinse out the beans. So I'll let this come to a quick simmer here. Okay. Yeah, that's looking good. Oh, it's smelling amazing. So the cookbook that I'm getting this from, I reviewed on, I did kind of a little preview, sneak peek kind of thing on Patreon. And it does say to let this cook down until the chili is thickened to a stew-like consistency after you add the beans, which you're supposed to drain, and I'm not going to. So I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and add those beans right now. There we go. Get off there. And of course, these are going in with the liquid. That looks good. And oh, they all came out all at once. I'm still going to rinse the can out a bit, because there is some delicious bean liqueur in the bottom of that. And even though this is going to be a quick recipe, these kind of highly flavored recipes with the beans and the tomatoes, I think they work better if you give them some time to simmer. This would actually be a great thing right now. Once you get the vegetables sauteed, if you doubled this, you could throw it all in a slow cooker and just let it go all day. And I may do that at some point. But this is looking good. I'm going to put the lid on there just to get it to a boil. Okay, so this thing is at a boil. The lid was there just to help it get to a boil. I'm going to turn the temperature down to just a simmer. And I'm going to let this go for about 8 to 10 minutes just to let this thicken up ever so slightly. I want it kind of saucy because we're putting it on top of the rice. And I'll show you that when we get over to the table and enjoy this. There's our timer, 8 minutes. Oh, wait, bring it back to a simmer. There we go, now it's bubbling. 8 minutes. All right, so this has been simmering here for 8 minutes, and you can see it's gotten a little bit thicker. I'm a little conflicted because it doesn't seem like a lot of beans. And it does say Pinto Bean Skillet Chili, and I am very tempted to add another can of beans. Unfortunately, I don't have any more cans of pinto beans. So I think I'm going to add a can of Great Northern beans. So when I write up the recipe on my website, I will include 2 cans of pinto beans, just because this doesn't seem very pinto beany to me. But keep in mind, I don't have another can of pinto beans. So we're going to punt. So I'm just going to go in with these Great Northern beans. And I'm just going to heat this up until these are heated through, which won't take long. And then I will meet you at the table. But yes, that looks significantly more beany. So yeah, I'm just going to get this back to a boil just to heat those beans up. And it's thickened up nicely. So this is going to go well over our brown rice. So I'm going to get this heated up. We'll see you at the table. And we'll give this a taste. And actually, if you're wondering, I did taste this. I tasted the sauce, because one thing I've not added to this, and was not called for in the original recipe, was any salt. But we have canned ingredients. We have those canned tomatoes, and we have the canned beans. Even though the one can was reduced sodium, it still tastes plenty salty for me. So you might need a little bit of salt. Keep in mind, we're going to put a bit of cheese on top, and cheese has salt. So we're trying to go low sodium here. So I'm going to get this back up to the simmer so we can serve this on top of our brown rice, which I did make. Instant brown rice is fairly easy to make. I've never made it before, I don't think. No, I have. I've made the Target brand. Never made the Walmart brand. So yeah, I'm just going to bring this back to a simmer, get it all plated up, and see you over at the table. All right, so this is what it looks like out of the pan. You can see along the edge here that brown rice underneath. So I'm just going to go ahead and garnish this up with some cheese. And I realized as I was doing this earlier, until I got to the cheese portion, this is pretty much completely vegan. Now it's not, but you can leave the cheese out or use vegan cheese, and it will be delicious. And then some fresh tomatoes on top, which always are amazing. Well, they wanted to roll down the hill, so we'll sprinkle them around, make it look gorgeous all the way. And some of our beautiful green onions all around. And you may think it's weird to put fresh tomatoes on top of this when we've already got a can of Rotel in there. And then some of our cilantro. But this is winter. It's January. It's cold. It's snowy. I'm sick of it. And even though I want something like chili to stay warm, I also want something that will remind me of summer. So there we go. That is a thing of beauty. Now I want to taste it. And I will tell you, it does not need salt. It does not need salt. So I'm going to go in there and get a little bit of everything here. A little bit of green onion there. Oh, the cilantro gives it a very summery kick. You can see there's a lot of liquid in here. When I read the recipe originally, it says serves 2 to 3, and I'm like, that doesn't seem like a lot of food. And I thought, well, one way you can make this go a little bit further is by making a bowl out of it using some brown rice. Unfortunately, a lot of the restaurants around here that serve bowls, there's about a 1/2 inch of delicious food on the top, and then it's just plain brown rice all the way to the bottom of the bowl. And that's not very exciting. And so I wanted something that was saucy enough to make that brown rice interesting enough that you'd want to eat it. Oh my gosh. Oh, this was very good. It's warming. It's comforting. It definitely reminds me of summer. That's the nice thing. The fresh veg on top is what does it. If I can avoid making a mess all over the place. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is so good. You could do this in a slow cooker, like I said earlier. But I do want to talk about some changes that I made. Make sure I didn't make a mess here. Back you out just a little bit here. Yeah, so what I did was, the difference is, and I will put this all on the website so you can just download this and print it out. In addition to the chili powder, I did add cumin and granulated garlic. Instead of 1 can of beans, I went with 2 cans of beans, and I did not drain them. And then instead of 1.5 cups of grated Monterey Jack cheese, probably using about a cup, half a cup total. So about 2 tablespoons on each serving. This does make 4 servings because I'm serving it over brown rice. So 4 rather substantial servings. So you could easily feed 4 adults with this as it is, or 2 adults and 1 really hungry teenager. But yeah, it is so delicious, and you do not need salt in this. Between the canned tomatoes and the cheese and all of the spices that we added in, oh, it's so amazing. Oh my gosh. That's really good. I probably should have used some higher quality cheese. I'm using up leftovers that I had, so it was just what was in the fridge. But oh my gosh, yes. Thank you so much for watching. If you make this, please let me know what you think of it. If you do any additions or modifications, let me know what you tried and what you liked. And I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Power to the proletariat.